Okay, I like the song, but at the end of the day, though. Okay, I like the song, but at the end of the day, though. Okay, I like the song, but at the end of the day, though. At the end of the day, though. At the end of the day, though. Okay, I like the song, but at the end of the day, though. Hey, what's up? It's me, LA, pronounced like LA, like the city. I'm not from there, but I'm breezy. This is part 3 of I'm Sick of This. This is the summary right here where I wrap it up. And then eventually I see myself breaking it down by individual rappers. So welcome to the last installment of I'm Sick of This, SHIT. This is part 3. And I'll wrap it up by saying to have a timeline, a gauge, so even the new listeners can understand where I'm coming from in this mini series. It's obvious what the thumbnail says, you know. However, I wanted to let you know, new listeners, welcome first of all, that this 3-part series is talking about not necessarily talking down or bad to the women in the thumbnail. I lightly talk about how music in my time, when rap was really being born, is probably in the sophomore year of rap / hip hop. So how it started to make an imprint or impression on me. My marker for identity and evolution of rap music on the female scale was / is Lil Kim. She made a good positive impression on me. Despite of how she evolutionized to be super over sexualized. I'm talking about when she first came out. She left a very good impression on me when she first came out, so that's a good thing, and I'm happy about that. I talk about how, as the time went by through my 2 videos, how Salt and Pepper were out during my time of being able to actually visually see and hear them through the form of social media, which was television and radio. Ours was primarily radio because we didn't have cable at that time. And then as a few years went by, from me being in 1st and 2nd grade all the way to 1996, 97 when I was in 7th and 6th grade, how social media evolved and how we were able to eventually have cable TV, and I was able to see the visuals of Salt and Pepper more. I was more able to digest the lady rappers more, you know, put more of an identity to the voice that I always heard or may have seen in magazines in passing while I waited in the long lines at grocery stores. So that's how I was able to glance and pick up on things that were happening amongst the artists during my time. My next video I talked about, I think I went out of order. The first it was Salt and Pepper. The second was Lil Kim and how she actually was a positive influence for me. So that's where I kind of want to wrap it up now, to lay a foundation on this. Because if I was born in 1984, Salt and Pepper came out when I was super young, like in the early 90s. So I was like in 1st grade or so, you know, probably preparing to go to 2nd maybe. I didn't like them like that, but I really liked the music, the beat. 6th grade, got my first impression of a rapper that really influenced me for the trajectory of wanting to be great, and that was Lil Kim. So just imagine, here we are now. Just imagine, guys, I was in 6th grade. And when, to my impression, Lil Kim came out and made her debut, they introduced her really nicely. Kind of like Cinderella to me. Cinderella of rap. So now imagine the next generation, because we had our child in 2006. So that's a big time stamp between 96 to 2006. How many years is that? Like 2006, what is it? 96, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh my gosh. Whew, 17, 18, 19, 21. That's a lot of years. That's at least 15, 20 years apart. So just imagine when I had we had my first child in 2006. Just imagine from that point of how fast the music and how women were presented in female rap. So let's just say if I did have a daughter and it was her time to be like in first and second grade, which rapper would have been out then? It definitely would have been like, whoa, you know? So how I can only imagine if Lil Kim came out and she impressed me in the positive in such a short amount of time before she quickly started to evolve into be hypersexualized and celebrated. Just imagine how things would have been presented for her if I had a daughter in 2006 and she went through the same pattern or timeline of being introduced to female rappers. There's nothing left to be impressive about that's positive outside of the fact that she could be pretty. You can only look at the face, because I can only assume, because I'm just grasping for straws as I visually think about this without going through the Google timeline to actually be specific and detailed to see who was actually out in 2006 for our female rappers. I can only assume rightfully that they were like, man, were they fully dressed? You know, the lyrics were probably hitting on something like explicit. So who could have? Here we go. This is what I'm going to do right now. I'm typing in Google as we speak, female rappers out in 2006, question mark. Excuse me. There's Missy Elliott, Lil Kim, Remy Ma, and Shawnna. That's what the timeline says, the top 4 in 2006. So all I'm saying is the girls who were born around that time, their influences were them. So how did it shape them? How did it impose on them? Was it for the negative or was it for the positive? I can only assume based on what my reality was and how it was still evolving fast, even in the early 90s, from the females based on their album cover. The first one was innocent enough. Then the second one was like, whoa. The third one was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. They really hit the gas on it. So it's like we consumed and digested information really fast then in the 90s based on what was given to us. Still, we were conscious enough to know what was good and what was bad and what our parents didn't want and what we liked. We were able still to understand the contradictoriness of our parents telling us not to listen to certain things, and what we liked. We understood enough to know. Man, I'm just shaking my head because the pattern goes on. I'm curious as to how impressionable the female music ladies had an impression on the girls born at that time, 2006. So let's just say I was probably 6 years old, maybe. So that would actually be 2000. Let's just be fair based on my timeline. That means if the kids were 6 years old, so 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So let's just say they started listening to music in 2012 and really getting submerged in it. Let's be fair based on my timeline. In 2012, so which female rappers were out in 2012? Iggy Azalea, Charlie Baltimore, Honey Cocaine, No Name. That's what's coming up, but that seems off. Whew. Based on here, though, if that's the case, the face of rap definitely changed from 1996 to 2012 when, if we had children who were born in 2006, and started really getting submerged into the rap music, around 2012, the face of rap totally changed. It was like basically all white people. So how would that have affected the girls? Already on the surface level, it would have been a colorism type of thing. Growing up in my time, that was still something that was an issue in the early 90s. However, their faces were strongly represented through social media and press, right? The brown rappers, Foxy Brown, Lil Kim's, they still had their complexion, even though they were suffering through that. Speed the camera up though to 2012, all I see is dark, light people. So that alone would be something to plague the girls growing up who are not that complexion, or who are even that complexion. They'll be like, probably like, oh, they look like me, I definitely can do this. But what about the ones who are not that color? What would be the base point they will have to look at far as examples? You mean to tell me they had to go back in the past to find somebody? They wouldn't want to go back into the past, no offense, to see somebody old, because they're old to them. I don't want to see anybody old. I don't want to see the Harriet Tubmans. I want to see somebody now. How are they dressing now? How are they talking now? Because unfortunately, to my knowledge at the time, was Lil Kim and Foxy Brown really relevant to that point in 2012? Yeah, they were, but Lil Kim succumbed under the pressures of insecurity, so she pretty much her face was whitewashed too. Foxy Brown, she got lost in the shuffle of her career, so she wasn't as dominant on the scene. She wasn't really pushed, right? They have Janelle Monáe down here at the bottom, but she's not really a rapper, so she honestly don't count. They probably just threw her up there for the same reason I'm talking about, just for empathy or pity for the brown-skinned girls. This is exciting. I do want to dive more into this. This is just to set the tone, ladies and gentlemen, of rap from my point of view, from a different spin. I'm not really trying to beat these women down, but overall in general, I am sick of this SHIT, meaning how through the years, even from rap from the early 90s, how there seemed to be one type of protocol or set of rules that female rappers from the black side, and I'm not talking about complexion, just female rappers who are black, had to go by. There was only one template for success, and that's to be a 304, a THLT, in order to make it. And it's obvious that that same timeline and cookie cutter timestamp or whatever mold is still dominant, but it's worse, it's harder, it's harsher. That's all I'm saying. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, these lady rappers are female, right? So despite all the crud that's going on in society, I can only believe that a lot of them probably do want to be moms. But this world is making it difficult for them to see that as a visual or an actual reality, because it's hard. The standards are still trash, even though things are changing. So if they do want to be moms deep down, married or not, they still want children. They are still seeing that the only way for a plush life, so they can reach success of being a mom and raising children and not having their children go through the crap they did, is to drink the Kool-Aid and do this. I get it, and it's sad. I'm tired of this SHIT, because it seems like that's the only thing that they see. That's the only vision on the vision wall of success that will enter them into the fast track to get back to where they really wanted to be anyways. I'm sick of it over the fact that they seem trapped. I feel sorry for them, because it's obvious the other way, which is being clean, isn't paying the bills. It's not fair. So I'll keep it right there with the rappers, the lady rappers. I really feel sorry for them. I hope they reach at the end of all of this. I hope they really obtain what they really want, to be a mom, to probably be a homemaker, but be a boss homemaker, you know, like a super mom. Because that's a thing. It's a possibility. You can be a super mom. I wish them all the success. I hope that they have some sanity or some sense of who they are by the time they age out of the rap game. I'll leave it right there, and I'll come back and talk about other things in reference to this. But that's all right now. My name is LA, pronounced like Ellie, like the city. I'm not from there, but I'm breezy. I appreciate you all. Thank you for listening. You already know what to do. Like, share, comment, subscribe, share this video. You have been. Thank you for doing so. All right.